What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Lex and thank you for clicking on today's video. Today I thought I would do a highly requested video where I give you guys a maceration update on some Middle Eastern fragrances that I hauled a few weeks ago. So normally, you guys, after I do my Middle Eastern fragrance hauls, I spend some time with them, and if I don't like them, y'all will just see it in a declutter video. But I wanted to specifically do an update video because so many of you guys always request that in my Middle Eastern fragrance videos. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Also, if you enjoy Middle Eastern fragrance content and beauty content in general, please do not forget to leave me a comment, like this video, and subscribe to my channel before you leave today's video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm gonna go house by house. I feel like that's what I did when I did my live reviewing all of these and giving you guys my first impressions. Like I always say in all of my Middle Eastern fragrance videos, you guys, I always say to let these scents sit, let them macerate. Some get better within a couple of days and some literally don't get better until a few months later. So I do try my best to have patience with letting some of these develop, especially if it's something that I can see has potential. But with the size of my fragrance collection now and me wanting to keep it a certain amount, I do tend to let things go if I just feel like it's just not going to work for me. But needless to say, we're actually going to start on a high note because this is Zimaya Inekas Solis. Y'all, this was a love at first sniff for me. I absolutely love this one in my first impressions video, and literally nothing has changed except for the fact that I love this even more now, y'all. Like, oh my God. This is the best Kayali Yum pistachio inspired fragrance I have smelled to date. I have tried several of them as well as finished a bottle of the OG, and I personally feel like this does the OG even better. I feel like Kayali Yum has that very clean, sweet, creamy pistachio, and I feel like you do have to let it sit a little while before it starts to develop into that thicker, richer sweetness. And for the most part, when you first get it, it's definitely more on the fresh side to me, which I don't mind. I love the fresh, powdery vibes that it has, but I did want more of the pistachio sweetness when I first got that perfume. So I finished the bottle. I've tried a few other inspired by fragrances, and this, y'all, hands down is the best one. You are getting that pistachio creamy sweetness right off the bat. I've had this maybe 1 or 2 months now, y'all, and first of all, the juice has gotten darker, which is a huge indicator in the fact that it's just aging beautifully and getting better. But this is almost like if Love Don't Be Shy was like a pistachio scent. Like, literally, it's giving me Kayali Yum Bougie Marshmallow with the level of sweetness that Killian's Love Don't Be Shy has. And I am just absolutely obsessed with this one. This one also has great performance and lasts extremely long, has great projection, and I'm just obsessed, y'all. This one is literally getting better by the day, and I just could not be happier with this one. Also, the bottle is just gorgeous, and I just love looking at this. Like, this green, and then it's got kind of like this pearlescent holographic bottle. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm loving this one. The next Zimaya scent. This is one that I was not feeling at all, girl. I was not feeling this one at all. This one actually smelled very similar to another one that I was not feeling in this video, but I am happy to report my thoughts have changed on this. This one is also from Zimaya. This is called Infrad Luxe. And this one is inspired by vanilla powder. I'm not even going to spray this one, y'all, because I still don't love this one, but it has gotten better, right? So when I first got this, you guys, it had a very metallic, almost savory type of scent. I want to say it was the Palo Santo in here, but to me, I was really hoping that this was more of a creamy coconut, vanilla, and caramel. And I was really just getting more of that kind of resinous, metallic smelling Palo Santo. And this, I have to say, you guys, has actually gotten better. I am smelling way more caramel and way more creaminess from the coconut in here. And overall, this is not a bad fragrance. I don't think this is something I particularly would reach for, but the bottle is gorgeous. And if you are a fan of the Khadlaj Fursaan White, this is basically, like, I feel like the longer that it sits, this is basically a more caramelly version of that. So if you are a fan of that scent, you might actually want to check this one out because this one is definitely a little bit more of a richer version of that and not as creamy and powdery. So yeah, do I think this is a bad scent? No, it has actually grown on me and changed quite a bit from the absolute disgust that I felt when I smelled this for the first time. But I don't think I'm going to keep this just because I think I'm going to keep the other one that reminds me of this, and we will talk about that one when I get to it. But So far, Infrad Luxe, even though she has improved since I've received her, I don't necessarily think I'm going to keep this one, and I will probably be letting this one go. The next one, this is a one of one as far as the house is concerned, but this is from, I guess, the house of Fakhama. No, Maison Asrar, and this one is called Fakhama. Gorgeous, gorgeous bottle, you guys. And I pretty much, first of all, the juice with this one as well is starting to get a lot darker, and she was a love at first sniff for me. I love the Love Don't Be Shy Oriana DNA, and this is basically that. And I just feel like I can never have too much of this in my collection at this point, because this is a scent DNA that I love, that a lot of people around me love when I wear it. And overall, this is giving Oriana, Love Don't Be Shy, Orange Blossom, Marshmallowy Sweetness Overload. And it's gotten stronger since I tried it for the first time. So I imagine that is going to be the trend of this one. It's definitely gotten richer, more of that syrupy sweetness. And if you love Love Don't Be Shy and you love Oriana, I definitely feel like this is a mashup of the two. But the longer that I have it, I feel like it's going to smell closer to Love Don't Be Shy, because it is definitely getting way more sweet, way more rich on those marshmallowy orange blossom vibes. So if that is a scent DNA that you like, this is definitely one you should check out, and I'm excited to get somewhere out of. I will say so far though, this one is not the longest lasting, but I feel like when it comes to the performance of some of these Middle Eastern scents, you guys, even though I've had them for a couple of months now, I really can't make a final call on performance just yet, because so many of my Middle Eastern scents, even though I loved them in the beginning, if they weren't the most long lasting, if I revisited them 3, 4, or 5 months later, performance literally changed and they were super, super long lasting. So I'm hoping that's what happens with this one, because I do really, really enjoy this scent. Okay, y'all. Now next we're going to jump into the house of Khadlaj. And I actually have a video coming up soon reviewing a bunch of their fragrances. So some of these will probably be repeated in that video, so stay tuned for that. But we're gonna start with one that I am addicted to, which is Empire Victor. I don't necessarily want to say that this is a dupe or inspired by fragrance of anything, because I feel like on Fragrantica, a lot of people were saying this was inspired by Xerjoff's Lyra, which is one of my personal signature scent perfumes. I've emptied a bottle of, repurchased, so I'm very familiar with that scent DNA, and this is not really giving that. To me, this is kind of smelling like a little bit of a mashup of a lot of the really popular lemon gourmands. So this kind of smells a bit like House of Sillage Hufflepuff. It also has a little bit of a Love Don't Be Shy kind of vibe, and strangely enough, this also reminds me a little bit of the Kayali Yum Bougie Marshmallow, except if it were more lemon than strawberry, if that makes sense. So this smells really, really good, you guys. If you love your powdery, creamy, lemon, vanilla, gourmand combos, which is like one of my favorite type of scent DNAs, this smells really, really good. But I will say this is definitely not, to my nose, a direct dupe of anything. I feel like it just has a lot of different elements of some really popular scents with this scent DNA right now. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. This is another one that I don't feel like has the best performance necessarily. This one's not super loud and projecting. This is just more of an everyday, easy throw on and go scent that you will probably have to reapply throughout the day. At least for me right now. Hopefully that changes. But also, I don't really mind that as much, because honestly, that helps you go through your fragrances faster. And when you have a large collection like me, I am looking to go through stuff and not hold on to things. So yeah, Empire Victor definitely is a win for me. I really enjoyed this one when I first smelled it, and I still do. I don't feel like it's changed that much since I've had it. So I will just keep checking back in on this one with y'all. Now, as far as Khadlaj, right? Remember the scent I was just talking about from Zimaya, Infrad Luxe? That's gonna bring us to this one right here, which is Khadlaj Fursaan White. If you watch that live, and I'm gonna spray this on hand. I'm gonna spray this on my hand, because I'm honestly very shocked. You guys watched my live when I first got this and sprayed this out. I thought I let it macerate for enough time. I thought I'd sprayed enough out of it before I wore it, but girl, I really don't think I did, because so many of y'all were so upset. Honestly, I feel like it was half and half. Some of y'all felt the same way about this one as I did, and some of y'all were like, oh my God, how do you not like that? And now I'm definitely starting to understand why so many people do like this, because two things have happened. First got this, it had that same kind of metallic, funky, hairspray type of smell, where it just smelled like a sour coconut hairspray or hair product to me. And I feel like it has slowly started to get a little bit more creamy, a little bit more sweet, but also the difference spraying this on skin versus tester strip, it was a huge difference for me, y'all. Like, the full dry down of this, I actually absolutely love. I feel like the couple of days that I was testing this out to see how I felt about it, because I was ready to declutter this, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to kick this one out the door along with the Infrad Luxe. I wore this on skin for a couple of days, and like the first initial spray, I still kind of get that almost kind of like salty metallic type of vibe, and I don't really know what's causing that. Either it's like incense, Palo Santo, I can't remember, but something in here was causing that for me, and it reminded me of a Lattafa fragrance that I just absolutely did not like, which is Ajwad. But the longer this sits on skin, the full dry down of this, y'all, is actually really nice. It's a very beautiful, creamy, powdery vanilla coconut combo, and I only get that after maybe like about 15 minutes when this really settles, and it's a beautiful scent, y'all. It is really a beautiful scent. So honestly, I think I'm going to keep this. I'm going to probably declutter the Infrad Luxe because I don't feel like I need two scents like this in my collection, since I am still trying to decide if I really like it. But this one, I can for sure say I was catching like wafts of this. Like, this smells really good in the air. This will be something I would like to like spray on my clothes or something. And I feel like if people caught wafts of this in the air, it would smell really good, really sweet. So I'm going to keep this one and keep testing her out, playing around with her. But my mind has definitely changed since the first time I smelled this, and I'm glad I'm going to give her a chance. The next one we have, this is the last one from Khadlaj, but this is Shiyaaka. This is either Shiyaaka Rose Gold or Shiyaaka White. I feel like I've seen it like called both things. One thing on Amazon, it's called one thing, and then on like other websites, it's called something else. On Fragrantica, something else. But it's the one that has the rose gold on the outside, girl. And this one I definitely really like and enjoy. Again, I don't feel like this one has changed too much from when I first smelled it, but I already like this one, and it does still smell really good. This is definitely giving me kind of like a Burberry Her kind of vibe, but with more of a tropical floral twist. It doesn't have like a prominent berry note necessarily, but this is just a really pretty tropical floral. It's giving me like summer fruits vibe mixed with a little bit of flowers, if that makes sense. So think of Burberry Her if it was just more warm and more fruit forward. And this is definitely one that's going to be really nice for spring and summer that I'm excited to wear. It's just a really pretty, feminine, delicate fragrance, like a pretty girl scent. So if you like your easy, crowd pleasing, fruity florals, I definitely think this is one you should check out. Next, let's jump into a few that I grabbed from Lattafa. I feel like most of the ones that I have are from Paris Corner, so I'm saving those for the end. But this is Lattafa's Ana Abiyedh Coral. And the OG, actually no, I won't say the OG. Ana Abiyedh Poudre is like one of my signature scents. I love that one. It's just a really pretty, super powdery, clean, musky scent. So you have to like those types of scents. But I was very intrigued by this one because so many of the girlies were talking about this one, and this one is said to be inspired by Wave Child, which I have not tried that one, but it's supposed to be a really sweet, refreshing watermelon fragrance. Watermelon fragrances are really hit or miss for me because the most popular watermelon fragrance out there, I would say, which is the Dolce & Gabbana one, L'Emperatrice. I cannot stand that one. It just doesn't smell good to me. So I was a little apprehensive about this one, and honestly, I feel the same way that I felt about this one in the beginning. I do think this smells nice, but to me, this mostly just smells like a really sweet watermelon, like hard candy watermelon Jolly Rancher, which if you like those types of scents, you would probably really enjoy this. It's just giving me like a popular Bath and Body Works watermelon body spray, and there's nothing wrong with that considering this is already such an inexpensive fragrance. So if you want something really juicy and tropical and fun and candy sweet for summer, this would probably be a really good choice. I just feel like this needs something extra for me. Like, I would use this strictly as a layering scent, or maybe even something to wear to the gym that I just want to throw on and go and not have to think about. But it is really cute, really pretty, and just reminds me of like spring and summer. So if you like those candy sweet Jolly Rancher type of scents, this almost reminds me a lot of like Escada perfumes. Like, this is the kind of vibe that it's giving me. So again, a really cute one, not anything crazy sexy or like, you know, jaw-dropping, but this is a cute throw on and go, and I will definitely be keeping her. Next, let's talk Lattafa's Victoria, which this bottle itself, y'all, is just absolutely gorgeous. So this one, of course, is inspired by Dolce & Gabbana's Devotion, and this was another love at first sniff for me because Devotion is one of my signature scents. But I will say this one is definitely not like 100% a spot on dupe to me. She's definitely a little bit more creamy and powdery than Devotion, I would say. So if you were not a huge Devotion fan, or you felt like the lemon in Devotion was a bit too sharp, you might actually want to try this one out because this is overall giving me more of a creamy lemon vanilla combo, which again, I can never have too many of those, honestly. So Is this a little repetitive in my collection at this point? Yes, but when you have a favorite scent DNA, you really can never have too many scents like that. So since this is something that I really do enjoy and I find myself layering with a bunch of different things, and this is my type of ideal scent profile, I am going to keep this. But I would say if you were trying to debate between, say, this and Empire Victor by Khadlaj, I would probably go with Empire Victor. I do feel like that one's a little bit more rich, has a little bit more body, I would say, and I think it's a little bit longer lasting than this one because I do find I have to reapply this one often, and it's not the loudest, most projecting scent, but I do get compliments whenever I wear this, which at the end of the day, girl, we all just want to know that we smell good, and that's what matters to me most. So yeah, Lattafa Victoria, she's definitely staying in the collection. Now, the last Lattafa scent is actually one that I did not even get a chance to talk about in that live because I already had so many and I think I just forgot about it, but this is Lattafa's Mayar Natural. And at this point, I feel like I've tried all of the other Mayars, and I was very intrigued about this one because obviously I've been wanting more fresh, fruity florals and things like that for spring. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not feeling this one. I'm going to give this one a little bit more time to sit, but this has a prominent fig note, right? And for me, fig is one of those notes that I either really, really enjoy, like in Fleur's Father Figure or Bath & Body Works' Guilty as Fig, or I absolutely cannot stand it, like the fig that is in Mugler's Womanity. I don't know if you guys have ever smelled that, tried that, but it's basically one of Mugler's, like, I guess retired, or I don't even think it's retired, but you don't regularly see that one. The one that's in that tall, slender pink, it's got the pink juice and it has like this like Aztec looking thing on the top. This is the type of fig that's in that scent where it's very kind of salty and almost has this savory metallic undertone to me. So I am just not really a fan of this. It does smell very fresh and aquatic, but to me, this almost leans, this is definitely unisex, leaning more masculine, I would say. And I'm just not really a fan of this type of fig in my scent notes and my fragrances. So I'm probably not the best target audience for this, but if you like scents like Mugler's Womanity, you would probably like this one because this is definitely more of a fresh take and it's not as heavy of a fig. But yeah, I'm not sure about this one, y'all. I do want to give it a few more weeks and, you know, wear her out and see how I feel about it. But yeah, as a whole, this one is not my favorite and I'm probably not going to be keeping this one. The rest of the scents we have here are all Paris Corner, so let's jump into it. Let's just start with my fave, y'all. If y'all watched my most recent spring favorites video, y'all already know how I feel about this. And this is another one just like Zimaya's Inekas Solis. It just continues to get better with time, y'all. Like, I don't know how these Middle Eastern fragrances are basically getting the end result of Kayali fragrances sitting for a while on like one take, but that is what is happening here. This is basically Kayali's Yum Bougie Marshmallow with full body, fully macerated, and super long lasting, you guys. I have already worn this multiple times, and for my fragrance girlies, I actually remember wearing this I wore it to Diera's pop-up shop, and y'all, literally I had 2 or 3 people asking me if I was wearing the new Kayali, so that is how spot on identical to that scent this smells. This is powdery, candy sweet, like a light, fluffy strawberry candy with whipped cream, a little coconut. Like there's even some lemon drizzled in here. So it's giving it this bright zestiness. But overall, this just smells so girly, so flirty and fun. And I absolutely love this, y'all. So again, gave me a huge scent bubble. This lasted at least 6 to 7 hours before I personally felt like I wanted to reapply it, but people could still smell it on me because I was still getting compliments, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this. So if you have not tried this one out, definitely recommend getting your hands on it while you still can because it's been like selling out like hotcakes. The next one we're going to talk about is Qissa Pink and Qissa Delicious, which is the one that's in the like tan neutral colored bottle. That one is one of my all-time favorite scents, and I originally never picked this one up because I have always heard this being heavily compared to Lattafa's Yara. And I definitely see the resemblance. And I actually decluttered Yara because I was just never really a huge fan of Yara. It always had this kind of weird salty vibe to me that I just did not really enjoy. It did not go with the fruitiness of that fragrance to me. I will say, I pretty much feel like this is basically a less salty, more fruit forward version of Yara. I definitely get way more apple in here and more of a creamy coconut, but I like this one. It just smells cute. It's easy to throw on. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that I'm going to like want to smell like every day, but also this is going to be something easy to throw on and go if you're out running errands, you're going to the gym, whatever, and you want something very inoffensive, very likable, sweet, girly, and fun. So that is the vibe that this one gives me. I will most likely still be keeping it. It's not anything special to me, but sometimes if you want something easy to throw on, this is definitely going to fall in that category for me. If you like Yara or you didn't like Yara, I feel like this is still a good one to check out because it has that same DNA. But it's definitely a little bit more fruit forward with that apple, and it has a more pronounced creamy coconut note. So yeah, this one's still a win for me. Okay, y'all. Now here's another one that actually pleasantly surprised me once I actually gave it some time to sit and wore it on skin as opposed to a tester strip. So this is Paris Corner's Ibisco Nirvana, and this one is inspired by Hibiscus Mahajad, which I feel like I've smelled a sample of, but I really don't remember, so I can't really use that as a fair scent to compare it to right now. But I have heard from the girlies who have that scent that this is very closely related to that, and I did not like this one at first, you guys. I did not like this one at first, but I will say I have since changed my mind, and I actually really enjoy this now. I just don't think I'm a fan of the opening, but very similarly to the Khadlaj Al Fursaan White, once that kind of sharp, weird opening settles down, this is a very gorgeous fragrance. This is really a refreshing, sweet, almost like a candy lime with this really beautiful, refreshing tropical floral in the background. And if I can remember correctly, there's also cinnamon in here, which it gives it a sweet spiciness. And overall, this is very unique. This is definitely not a fragrance that other people are going to smell like or other people have smelled. So if you're in the market for something very unique for spring and summer, I definitely think this is one to check out. This is probably not something I'm going to reach for a ton just because of how unique and different this is. Like this is one of those scents I have to be in the mood for. I do really like how this smells, and I'm excited to see like how this continues to change and develop the longer that I have it. This was another win for me, so I'm excited to see how this has changed since I first smelled it. This is Coconut Lagoon. I really like this one. This is definitely the kind of fresh scent that I would like to wear. I'm not really typically a quote unquote fresh fragrance wearer, but this definitely, oh yes. Y'all, this smells so freaking good, y'all. This is the type of fresh aquatic coconut scent that I love. This almost smells like a margarita or something. Like there is this sparkling citrus element in here mixed with this kind of coconut water. It just smells very refreshing. This does remind me heavily of Creed's Virgin Island water. So if you are a fan of that scent, this is one you should definitely check out. I can't speak too much about longevity and performance right now because I feel like the first few times I did actually wear this, it was not the longest lasting, which is kind of standard for a lot of fresh fragrances, but this is the type of scent that I love how it smells so much. I really don't mind reapplying it, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, this smells really good, y'all. If you love a lime coconut DNA, this is what I wanted Skylar's Lime Sands to give. And I feel like that scent just smelled too much like a lime cleaner to me. This is like lime and coconut in a really fresh, sweet way, and I really love this one. And that brings me to her counterpart, which is Mango Jugoso. And this one, hands down, I still love. Okay, I love this one when I first smelled it, and I still love it. Yes, y'all, this has gotten a ton sweeter since I first smelled it, and it was already pretty sweet to begin with. So if you love the smell of mango candy, this literally smells like a mango candy or like mango nectar or something. It's just very candy, tooth-achingly sweet. I would put this in the same category as the Lattafa Abiyedh Coral, just a mango version. And also, I feel like this is just more punchy than that one. Like this one is more memorable to me. So yeah, if you are a mango lover like I am and you love those really tropical candy sweet scents like the Abiyedh Coral, also the Ellis Brooklyn fragrances like the Miami Nectar, the Guava Granita, like it just has that very tropical, almost sparkling fruit smell. And if you just love those like island fruit type of smells, you would definitely really appreciate this one. I'm excited to play around with this one this summer. We are getting to the end. We are getting really close to the end. So next we have Khair Felicity. Is inspired by Kayali's Silk Wedding Santal. And I pretty much told you guys in my first impressions of this, I don't love Silk Santal, right? I feel like I like it, but I feel like I kind of forced myself to like it because it is so hyped up in the fragrance world. And I don't know, the cassis is one of those notes that I either love or hate. And I feel like in Silk Santal, the longer that I have it, the more I smell that cassis note. And I don't really love it. I also have 2 or 3 other fragrances in my collection that have that same Kayali like Silk Santal DNA that I like better. So Ariana Grande's Mod Vanilla, the Donna Karan Palo Santo and Cashmere, like I feel like I like those a little bit better. So I honestly may be decluttering that Kayali scent at some point, but I do feel like I like this a little bit better because it's giving Kayali Silk Santal, but without that green kind of sour note from the cassis, and it's just overall giving me the same kind of smooth, creamy, slightly fruity vanilla with that like sparkling note and that powdery freesia that I really do like. So yeah, I'm probably going to keep this and honestly get rid of Silk Santal, which I know sounds crazy, but I feel like these Middle Eastern scents and companies have such a good way of tweaking what I don't like about the original scents, specifically Kayali scents. They just do such a good job of recreating Kayali scents and making them better. And I definitely feel like in this instance, Felicity is better than Silk Santal to me. So yeah, I don't get that same weird, sour, almost like cat pee smelling smell that a lot of people have said Cassis reminds them of. It just does not agree with me. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to declutter that, but I do like this one and I'm going to keep it for now and see how I feel about it and continue playing around with it. And then of course that brings us to Khair Candy or Khair Confection. This is another one that I actually really heavily liked both when I first got it and I still like it now. But my only issue with this one, you guys, is I feel like the performance on this is really not that great. Like I find myself having to reapply this one quite often. So I'm hoping that it gets stronger the longer that I have it. But as far as the scent, this is definitely hands down very, very comparable to Kayali's Candy Rock Sugar. It's just giving like these powdery candy pears mixed with a little bit of like bubble gum. And it just has this, it smells like a hard rock candy, like a pear rock candy and bubble gum. And it's like marshmallowy, it's sweet. This is just a sweet candy fragrance. And also this is another highly complimented one. This is definitely in the same family as, you know, Kayali Marshmallow Blush and things like that, where it's just this powdery candy-like sweetness. And I clearly love those types of scents. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. And so far, I'm really just hoping that the performance improves. But if it doesn't, this is just a fun, easy reach for me that I probably won't mind reapplying anyway. So Khair Confection, she is still a win. I just wish the performance was a tad bit better. The last scent in this video, you guys, is one that I actually hauled way back in the fall. And if you guys keep up with me, I actually decluttered this scent a couple of months after that. And I repurchased this scent to gift to my mother for her birthday. And me smelling it on her literally made me re-add it back to my collection. So that is none other than Afnan's Mystique Bouquet. And first of all, y'all, the bottle. I mean, the bottle, she's absolutely gorgeous. But y'all, I really don't know why I decluttered this. Because when I first got this, I told you guys how amazing and incredible it smelled. This one is inspired by Parfums de Marly Valaya, which I don't own in my collection, but so many of the girlies who do own it and have smelled both have said that they are almost identical. So this is basically just a really refreshing, clean, classy musk with some peach to me. And it smells so good. It smells expensive. It is super long lasting, beast mode performance and longevity. And this just smells incredible, y'all. This is truly a gorgeous spring fragrance. And I don't know why I decluttered it. I feel like maybe because of that time of year that it was when I got it, it maybe just didn't mesh with what I was trying to do. But the minute I smelled this on my mother, I was like, girl, I need this in my collection for spring. So she has been added back to the collection and she will definitely be in rotation. I can definitely see myself wearing this for a more dressy occasion in the spring and summer. But this also is something that the way that the musk is done in here, it just smells classy. It could 100% be a signature scent. This also could be a nice office scent as well. And yeah, this is just very universal to me. I remember when I first got this, I said this smelled a little too classy and put together to me, but I have since changed my mind on that statement and do feel like this will be a great everyday scent as well. And I think it's going to be perfect for this time of year. All right, you guys, now for my favorite parts, where I kind of categorize and rank all of these from my least favorites to my most favorite. So my least favorite is still going to have to go to the Infrad Luxe. Even though that one has gotten better, I still don't particularly love it and I'm not completely thrilled by it. So I will most likely be decluttering that one. Next least favorite is going to have to go to Lattafa's Mayar. I feel like it's kind of tied with Infrad Luxe. Honestly, Lattafa Mayar probably should have went at the bottom because I really just can't find anything about that one that I particularly like. I have grown to like Infrad Luxe a little bit more than when I first got it, but overall, I feel like both of those I'm probably not going to reach for, and I'm going to have to go ahead and get rid of it. The next one for me is actually going to be Ibisco Nirvana. While I do think that one is nice and I'm most likely still going to keep that one, I do feel like the scent notes themselves are a little polarizing to me, so it's probably not something I'm going to reach for all that much, but I am going to still keep that one, play around with it, and hope that I can try to make it work for me and get a little bit of wear out of it this spring and summer. Next, I'm probably going to have to place Qissa Pink. I think it's a cute fragrance, and I think it is very similar to Yara. I like it a little bit better than Yara, but to me, it's still not something that is super memorable for me, but I am going to keep it for a little bit, play around with it again, and see how I feel about it in a few months. That brings me to my next one, which is Ana Abiyedh Coral. I feel the same way about that one, but I do like that one a little bit more, and I like that it is a watermelon fragrance. I don't really have a lot of watermelon candy fragrances, so I'm probably going to get a lot of wear out of that one as far as layering this spring and summer, so she's definitely getting kept. Next, I'm going to give it to Fursaan White. I am very surprised that I have started to like that one, but even now, y'all, the dry down is where it is at for me. The dry down is where it starts to turn into that creamy vanilla coconut vibe that I love. So I'm actually really excited to get to know that one a little bit better, because I'm now finally starting to see why so many people like that one. I really just had to give it a full few times of wear and let it dry down, but I'm definitely a fan of that one now. Next, I'm going to give it to Khair Felicity. That one, again, I do like more than the scent that it was inspired by, and I really just need to get a little bit more wear out of it because it is slightly repetitive in my collection, but that does not mean I don't like it. I feel like it is still a nice, easy to wear vanilla for spring and summer. So Khair Felicity is next on the list, followed by Khair Confection. I actually really love how Khair Confection smells, but I just wish the longevity was better. But I still think it's going to be a great option for spring and summer. Next, I'm going to give it to Shiyaaka White. It is a beautiful fruity floral fragrance that I feel like it's just going to be an easy grab and go. It's definitely a very feminine, flirty, and fun fragrance, and I really enjoy that one, so she's definitely getting kept. Now, Maison Asrar's Fakhama, Empire Victor, as well as Victoria by Lattafa, I feel like all of those I'm just going to group together because they all give me very similar vibes, and it's a scent DNA that I really, really enjoy. So yes, I will be keeping all three of those. And then right next to those, y'all, I'm going to place Mango Jugoso and Coconut Lagoon. I really feel like I'm going to love those the hotter it gets outside, and I love both of those equally. That leaves me to my top three from this video, which are going to go to Marshmallow Blush, Inekas Solis, and Mystique Bouquet. Those are definitely my top three from this video, but honestly, y'all, I feel like I had more wins than misses, so there's probably only 2 or maybe 3 that I'm going to end up decluttering from this video. Overall, everything else was a win for me, and I'm excited to play around with them, do some layering combos, and just give you guys more content with those fragrances. But if you watched this far into the video, let me know which of these are your favorites. If you agree with my ranking at all, if you would take something out, if you would keep something, girl, let me know your thoughts because I am genuinely curious to know. And stay tuned for my Khadlaj haul that I have coming up. But that is all for today's video, you guys, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.